This endoplasmic reticulum is always present near the nucleus. You can see here it is always surrounding the nucleus, and Golgi complex is present little far away from the nucleus. Next is Golgi complex. This Golgi apparatus, it is also called as Golgi apparatus. It was first discovered by Camillo Golgi, and this it consists of a system of membrane-bound vesicles. You can see it is a membrane-bound vesicles, or a bag-like or a sac-like structures. And here, in case of this, is a flattened sacs. The flattened flattened sacs. So arranged approximately parallel to each other, one on the other, or one beside the other. So each parallel line or each parallel sac, it is called as cisternae. Cisternae anta karitare. The one part, this one portion, it is called as cisternae. These membranes have a connection with the membranes of endoplasmic reticulum sometimes. Okay, it has some connection between endoplasmic reticulum, and therefore they constitute the another portion of a complex cellular membrane system. And the material synthesized near the endoplasmic reticulum is packaged and dispatched to various targets inside and outside the cell through this Golgi apparatus. This help in the packaging of the materials, and from here it will transport to the different parts of the cell or different parts of the body. And its functions include the storage modification. Okay, it is a help in the storage and modification and packaging of the products in the vesicles, in these vehicles. Okay, storage means storing of some proteins or nucleic acids, some other important nutrients which is necessary for the growth and development of the cell. In some cases, a complex sugars may be made from the simple sugars in this Golgi apparatus. This Golgi apparatus is also involved in the formation of the lysosomes. Lysosomes nothing but the suicide bags of the cell. Next is lysosomes. Okay, these are very small single membrane cell organelle. Okay, these lysosomes are a kind of waste disposal system of the cell. Okay, so it helps in the removal of waste from the cell. And these lysosomes also help to keep the cell clean by digesting the foreign materials, and as well as the damaged cell organelles, worn out cell organelles, nothing but damaged cell organelles. And when the foreign materials entering the cell, such as bacteria or a food, as well as old organelles, end up in the lysosomes. Okay, which breaks them up into small pieces. Whether suppose if there is any organelles are becoming old, so it will be break down into small pieces by these lysosomes. And lysosomes are also able to do this because they contain a powerful digestive enzymes. Okay, I told about enzymes. These enzymes acts as a biocatalyst which help in the breakdown of a complex substances into or larger substances into simpler substances. So they have a capable of breaking down all the organic material during the disturbance in the cellular metabolism. For example, when the cell gets old or damaged, lysosomes may burst out. Okay, these if the cell is damaged, these lysosomes may be burst, and the enzymes which is present inside these lysosomes can digest its own cell. This lysosome has a capacity to kill its own cell. Okay, so therefore these lysosomes are also known as suicide bags of the cell. Okay, because these lysosomes may burst and the enzymes will digest their own cell. Hence it is called as suicide bags of the cell. Structurally, lysosomes are membrane bound sac filled with a digestive enzymes. Okay, it is a single membrane cell organelle. It is a sac like structure. It is filled with the digestive enzymes. These enzymes are produced in the endoplasmic reticulum, that too rough endoplasmic reticulum. Next is mitochondria. Next is plastids. Okay, plastids are present only in the plant cell. You know that plants are autotrophic organisms. Why? Because they have a chloroplast in the cell and they have a chlorophyll pigment which absorb the solar energy, and by using this they will prepare their own food. Okay, since these plastids are present only in the plant cells, there are two types of plastids. Okay, one is chromoplast and another one is leucoplast. Chromo nothing but colored. Chromoplast means colored plastids. Nothing but leuco means colorless plastids. Chloroplast containing a pigment called as chlorophyll. Okay, it contains a pigment called as chlorophyll, and they're also known as chloroplast. And these chloroplasts are important for the photosynthesis in plants. This chloroplast also contains various other pigments also. For example, sometimes the leaves will be orange or a yellowish color, right? Along with the chloroplast, some other pigments are also present. So chloroplast, leucoplast. They are known as primary organelle, in which materials such as starch, oils, and protein granules are stored. Okay, so in the leucoplast, proteins, oils, and starch are stored. Chloroplast, which helps in the production of food or producing the food. The internal organization of the chloroplast consists of numerous layer of membrane layers. Okay, numerous membrane layers embedded. They are called as stroma. In the stroma, these membrane layers are present. This fluid, it is called as stroma, and the layers, the one on the other layers, that is called as granum. Okay, this layer, each layer, it is called as thylakoid. This thylakoid which absorbs the solar energy or a light energy, and here it will convert a light energy into chemical energy. And actually this is similar to mitochondria in the external structures, because they also have a outer membrane and a inner membrane. In external structures, this like mitochondria, plastids also have their own DNA and ribosomes. As I told, okay, this mitochondria and chloroplast and nucleus, they have their own DNA and ribosomes. Each cell thus acquires its structure and ability to function because of the organization of its membranes and the organelles in specific ways. Okay, the cells thus has a basic structural organization. This helps the cell to perform functions like respiration, obtaining the nutrition, and the removal of waste material from the cell, and even for the formation of a new proteins. Okay, thus the cell is the functional structural unit of a living organisms. It is also the basic functional unit of life. Okay, now due to the presence of these membranes and organelles, they perform different functions. We call it as cell is the functional structural unit of living organisms, and it is also known as a basic functional unit of life. Next is vacuole. Okay, these vacuoles are a storage sac for solid and liquid contents. These vacuoles are small sized in animals. As I told in the previous classes, the vacuoles are very small in the animal cell. But in case of plant cell, about 50 to 90% of the cell volume consists of this vacuole. And cells, while plant cells have a large vacuoles. The central vacuoles of plant cells may occupy 50 to 90% of the cell volume. In plant cell vacuoles, they are full of cell sap. Cell sap nothing but a fluid, and it provides a turgidity and rigidity to the cell. Turgidity means so full of water contained in a cell. And many substances of importance in a life of a plant cell are stored in these vacuoles. For example, some calcium crystals are stored, and some other important nutrients such as amino acids, proteins are stored in these vacuoles. The storage includes these amino acids, sugars, and various organic acids, and even some proteins. In single-celled organisms like amoeba, the food vacuole, you know that, right? So food vacuole, they contains the food items that the amoeba has consumed. In some unicellular organisms, specialized vacuoles also play important role in expelling the excess water and some waste from the cell. Okay, this helps in the storing of amino acids, proteins, and some minerals like calcium crystals, and some proteins and organic acids. This is about vacuole. Students, you know that this mitochondria are known as powerhouse of the cell because it will store the energy. Mitochondria have two membranes. You can see outer membrane and the inner membrane. And this outer membrane is porous. Porous means they'll be having some holes or a small pores. And while the inner membrane, you can see there are so many folds in it. They are deeply folded. Okay, these folds help in increasing the surface area for the ATP generating chemical reactions. Okay, ATP means it is an energy which is produced or which is generating in the living organisms. It is a source of energy for all the different activities, and the energy which is required for the chemical activities needed for the life and is released in the mitochondria in the form of ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate, it is a ATP molecule. ATP is known as the energy currency, just like Indian rupees. In the same way, in the cell organelles, we have a energy currency, that is ATP of the cell, and the body uses energy stored in ATP for making a new chemical compounds and for the mechanical work. Okay, your energy is creating whatever the food you're eating, it will come to the mitochondria and it absorb the nutrients from your food, and the exact respiration is taking place in the mitochondria. And this mitochondria, it is a strange organelle. Okay, why? Because in sense that they have their own DNA. Okay, in case of animal cell and plant cell, this mitochondria and the chloroplast have their own DNA. Okay, not only in the nucleus. I told about nucleus, right? So not only in the nucleus, in case of this mitochondria and the chloroplast, they have their own own DNA and ribosomes. Therefore, mitochondria are able to make some of their own proteins. Okay, so hence they are called as powerhouse of the cell.